The following video has been paid for by the New World Order.
Well everyone, I'm back. So depending on how long this takes to come out, it's either going to be a very surprising upload since it actually came out in a year, or it's just going to be like my normal upload schedule, uploading 2 videos a year and then fucking off for 12 months to fucking... I don't even know what I've done in the past 12 months. Started playing Stardew Valley. Anyway, let's talk about something that doesn't have any problems with putting out content. Disney. Well, Disney has become the biggest thing in the entertainment industry. Its cartoons have always been second or third place to stuff like Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network. Over the past few decades, the cartoons have been on a renaissance on its own, just like the Disney renaissance of the 90s. Let's hope they don't have to remake these cartoons in live action when they run out of ideas. I've just given them an idea, haven't I? With shows like Gravity Falls, Star vs. The Force of Evil, The Owl House and Amphibia. Even if all those shows are now finished, but let's not talk about that. So when a show gets popular, it gets a rarely big fandom. And, well, every fandom has some bad eggs. So today, we're going to be talking about those. This is the Amphibia Degenerates video, so let's break it down. I know I've already made a video on Admiral DD8, but he is the most infamous person in this video. Hey, that's a reference to the video that I made on him. So I think I'm getting quite good at being a YouTuber. Now I just need to sell out to every single sponsorship to get money. I'm just gonna do a quick summary of what he's done because I have a video going a lot deeper into this, which I've mentioned before. Again, go watch that, it's almost on 10,000 views. So what made him so infamous is that he made art shipping himself with the main character of Amphibia. Well, the problem is that he's a 28 and almost 30-year-old man making absolute masterpieces like this. I think we all just need to appreciate what true art has led to. And while I don't think he's a pedophile, there's a lot, since, I mean, it's kind of a stretch to say he's a pedophile, he's still a fucking creep, and there's a lot of misinformation that's being spread out about him. But then again, he has also made art where he's kissing her, well, his OC's kissing her, and there's also, like, there's this fucking image, this art that he made where he's giving birth to baby Jesus, and for some fucking reason looks like Poof from the Fairly Odd Parents. Pussy! I think Butch Hartman might have actually made that. That actually sounds like something he would fucking do. Well, now I don't have any way of segueing it out of that, so let's just move on to the next bunch so we don't have to contemplate on what the fuck we have been doing with our lives.
I do think the age of consent should be 13 years.
So I've decided to group these 3 together because, well, they all got exposed in the same situation, and if I did it individually, it would just be me referencing a whole bunch of shit, and it would just be very unorganized. Well, it's a Lenko video, it's basically the definition of ADHD and blah. You see, that lets you prove my point. But anyway, so we have Alex Ravit, KJ, and Sook, and they're all Amphibia artists, with Alex even being able to work on Amphibia, which is pretty cool. But all that praise crashed and burnt because on the 10th of July 2022, a Twitter account called Phoebe Burner made some tweets accusing them of having a not safe for work account. They would draw porn of the trio from Amphibia, who are kids. I know there are adult versions, but we'll talk about that later on. There has been a Google Doc made about this, and it has been deleted, but luckily the Wayback Machine is a thing, so I was able to get it. So let's look at all the evidence here. Even though it's not the longest Google Doc I've ever read, since I'm so used to commentary community Google Docs being like 50 pages long with so much shit, I'd have to sign up to a text-to-speech site before my brain fucking explodes from reading this much. Yeah, so why don't we just take a look at all the evidence. So it just kind of has all the stuff like the links to what they've done, which I've all got screenshots of. So it says, this first image, that this NSFW account has made a tweet saying how they like some stuff about behind the scenes of working on Amphibia, which makes sense because Alex has worked on Amphibia before, we do know this. So using basic knowledge, it kind of adds up. And let's be honest, do you really think Disney is gonna hire a fucking porn account which is private? No. Not at all, it's very stupid, but it's kinda weird that they're working on a show meant for children when they have a fucking porn account. So the next person on the list is KJ, and they got exposed for pretty much the same thing. But unlike Alex or Sook, they actually responded to it. So let's look at their response, and yeah, it's not good. If I'm being honest, it's actually fucking terrible. So let's just jump into it. So they first said that they don't condone what they were doing on their private account, the account making fucking child porn basically, or lolly, I don't care. You can fucking start your arguments in the comments, I'm definitely going to read them. So, in my humble opinion, why did you do it in the first place if you knew it was wrong? It doesn't sound like you're apologizing for what you did, it's more just saying you're pissed that you got caught and fucking apologizing because you got caught. Like, let's be honest, this shit never came out. They probably would be doing the same fucking thing. They'd probably be fucking drawing, I don't know, fucking Anne doggy styling Sasha or some shit. I'm going to hell for saying this, aren't I? But now, let's look on to their next point on this amazing response. Okay, so their next point is somehow even worse. So, they go from saying that they're sorry for all of this horrible shit that they've done, to blaming the person who exposed them for this, because they wanted internet clout, and we know that's a fucking awful response on the local channel. So, it's not the best apology I've seen, it's probably one of the worst. But let's look at the final of this trio of degenerates. So let me introduce you to Sook, or Dirty Bong Water. Yeah, that's a fucking username. They seem pretty normal at first, looking at their account, they make art, pretty cool, generic, cartoon, Twitter shit. But, in my opinion, they're the fucking worst of them all. So, their NSFW account is called Cumhouse. You see, I don't even think I can say that name without pissing off a fucking god or religious figure out there. So if you want even more proof that they're the worst out of the three, why don't we just look at what they did? Yeah, it's pretty fucking awful. And if we look at the Google document for the evidence, they straight up admit that they're a Sook. So they admit that they are the person who said they are blocking for a 13-year-old character from a cartoon with a dick. No wonder why this was on a private account. So, now that we're done with that fucking clusterfuck, let's move on to the final person of the video so we could wrap this up in a nice little bow of degeneracy.
Boobies. Vaginas. Gorgeous.
Well, this is probably the most personal out of all the people on this list because I was mutuals with him and I even defended him out. But before you call me a snake, let me just explain the entire story because it goes down a fucking rabbit hole. So, when Tom first started getting into controversy, it was because of the headcanon of Anne being straight. Doesn't seem so bad, but they would spam people's replies about it, and that would lead to them losing a lot of mutuals. Then they went to ask me for help. I defended them a little bit because I thought it's just a headcanon, it's not that bad. And I mean, every headcanon is, everyone who has their headcanon, who gives that much of a fuck about the headcanon is pretty unbearable, let's be honest. But I was kind of wrong. The worst thing that they did is when, at this point, is when they called somebody a pedophile and a groomer with no evidence and didn't even apologize for it. I did call them out at this, but they said they apologized to them in private, and I don't think they fucking have. Now, they're gonna do increasingly more deranged shit. And this would start with them having this weird obsession with Anne and a lot of characters from the Disney cartoons and saying that she was their wife and even had sex with her, which is very fucked up because she's 13. I know there are adult versions of the character, but it's just very fucking weird because you don't know. Like, I know if I say, oh, they're just gonna say it because it's like a quick and easy response, but most of my knowledge, they would say this stuff over the teenage version of Anne, which is fucking which is, you know, fucking weird. But you guys probably think that, nah, this is just a kid, they'll grow out of it, they'll think, Jesus, that was a fucking weird kid. But no, they're 21-year-old. And to point out even more fucked up shit, they called out Admiral DD8, who's done very similar shit. And it's probably gonna keep getting worse, and worse, and worse. Well, Tom, I know you're watching this because you made like 200 fucking comments in my Admiral DD8 video. So here's some word of advice for you. Get off the internet. For good. Never come back. Delete your Twitter. Delete any social media that you have. Lock up your phone for a while and go find something healthy to do. Because this is not liked. It's generally fucking creepy. And I'm not trying to virtue signal because I really don't care about trying to be the morally correct person in these type of shit. But speaking from a person who fought you as an acquaintance, a pretty good acquaintance, or even a friend at sometimes, you need to get some help, buddy. And maybe you should check out therapy. Well, I've said everything that I've wanted to say. This has been a very emotional video for me. I've done my research. I've done a lot of searching through Twitter. My eyes are in pain now because of that, because Twitter's UI just hurts my eyes.
Time to open the window!
I'm probably not going to upload for another year to recover from the pain that I've been through researching these people. So, the generic YouTube outro shit, check out my other socials, I guess. I'm working on a... nothing. I'm a wrestler now. I have a wrestling promotion that I'm in. Check that out if you like wrestling, I guess. You can see me do Canadian destroyers and power drivers. But I've been your host of Monday Night War, and goodbye.
I've got an electric shaver for all of my back hair. Wanna do me a favor? If you would be so kind and help me